and I am coming to you live on this December morning. So I am excited to be here. We are going to be making some memory wire projects today. So I'm going to show you real quick what memory wire is if you're not familiar with it. I have some right here. So it's this really cool like steel, basically like a plated steel coil. And it comes in different sizes and it holds its shape, which is great because it really makes it a very flexible piece of jewelry and one that is good for a gift item too, because it's a lot of times one size fits all because it just kind of molds around the wrist. You can buy it in different sizes, but it is good for that reason. And it does come in also necklace sizes and ring sizes, and there's lots of fun things you can do with them. You can make pretty sparkly wrapped bracelets. You can add cup chain, all sorts of really fun things you can do with memory wire. So this entire show is dedicated to memory wire. So we're gonna talk about cutting memory wire, finishing memory wire, the different types of projects you can do with memory wire. So it's going to be a lot of fun and we're gonna cover a lot in this show. So a couple quick things before we get going totally, just so you know, if you miss anything or you join this late or you wanna go back and rewatch, all of these videos that we do them every single week on Thursdays at 9 a.m. and at 9 a.m. Pacific, I should say, because I am on the West Coast of the US, that you can always watch the replay. So these are all saved. So you can go to beadaholique.com/live and you can find all these videos. Another thing is they are shoppable. So if you want to see something that I am using in the show, you don't want to wait for me to talk about it, there's a little shopping bag icon. You can click on that little icon and it will just show you everything I'm using. It can take you right to those products. You can add them right to your shopping cart. You can also comment. So I see Santa Barbara Girl and I see Stephanie, hello. So if you are on beadaholique.com and you are seeing this, you can comment. If you are on Facebook or YouTube or one of our other platforms, follow the link in the description. It will pop you over here and you'll be able to comment in real time and I will be able to see it. So little hearts are floating. I love that. So that's another great aspect of this is you can click on a little heart icon and it gives me floating hearts. You can click on the little arrow for share, just so much you can do. Now, another advantage of being here at Beadaholique is we're going to do a giveaway today. So stay tuned. I'll tell you what you're going to win right now. You're going to win a beautiful tube of prestige crystal bicones. And we're going to give that away to one winner actually pretty quickly here this morning. So that is another great thing about being here on the website. And I see Kathy. Hello, Kathy. It is fun to see everyone and see familiar faces on a morning like this. So I am all ready for the holidays. I've got my holiday earrings on. We did these in last week's show. And now let's go ahead and make some memory wire projects. Oh, thanks, Santa Barbara Girl. These ones were really fun. And that little snowflake is in stock now too. And this is a good time, guys. We're having our extension of our holiday sale. So if you're watching this and you're watching it live and at this point in time, as we're filming this, we are having 25% off site-wide with the code JOLLY25. So a great time to shop too. All right, let's go ahead and flip my camera down so we can start talking about and making memory wire. And we are going to do that giveaway pretty quickly here as well. Sometimes we save it for later in the show, but this time it's going to be pretty quickly. Okay, so there is a ton of stuff on my table. So again, what you can make with memory wire is really neat. It's really fun projects. They're pretty easy to do. So if you're looking for a project that's pretty quick and easy and you don't have to learn a lot of new skills and things like that, and they just kind of want to have fun, memory wire is a great option, or if you're new to beading, it's really good for that. Oh, hi, Francie and Amy and Steph. Hello. So here is a memory wire bracelet I made, and I actually made this out of a Mr. Kitty bag. So if you guys have been following these lives, you know we love our Mr. Kitty grab bags, and these are also on sale with the sale this week. But I made this all with a Mr. Kitty, so you can do random beads. So if you've got like bead soup, you got leftover beads, memory wire projects are perfect for that because you don't have to have all your beads match. Okay, and so what you can do is you can make it as many coils as you like. So this one's about 2.5. You can stack it and do them that are like 4 wide, lots of different options. You can also just do basically a single coil and just have a little bit of an overlap. And this one we wire wrapped rhinestone cup chain onto. And we use some of those beautiful prestige crystals to make some dangles. So you can see that there's quite a difference in the design style of these, but they're both using the same memory wire base. Oh, hello, Sarah. You know, you are very close to me. I am very close to Pomona. So hello to Pomona. I love that. So here we go. So those are a couple things that you can make with that. Oh, and Leanne is on time. Yay. I know it's hard to be on time to these things. I love it though. Thank you guys all for joining us. Okay, so that's kind of showing you what you can make with it. So I do want to show you now what memory wire actually looks like in its base form. So this is the base form of memory wire, and it's super cool. Hello, Wendy. Good morning. And hello from Virginia and Linda and Cynthia. Hello. All right. So this is memory wire. So like I said, it's a really, really strong wire. It comes pre-coiled, and you're going to cut it to determine how many loops you want. It comes in different finishes. So you see here, I've got a silver and a gold. Now it also comes flat and round. So I want to show you the difference between that first. So let me show you, this is the round one. So this is the one that you're going to be seeing most often. So this is just like the nice little smooth round one. Now, if you ever see flat in the description, this is flat. So if you look at that, it's basically a flattened wire. And what this one is great for is if you do want to do something like wire wrapping cup chain onto it or wire wrapping beads, that flat edge gives you a bigger surface to attach it to. So there's definitely a use for the flat wire. It also has just a different aesthetic. Now you won't be able to get as many beads onto this because it's not that nice small round. So that's something to just keep in mind. But if you love memory wire and you've been working with the round, the flat is kind of a nice new challenge. And like I said, it's really great for doing wire wrapping. So I love the flat for the wire wrapping. And I'm trying to see comments and questions as they go through. We do have Michelle and Eric in the background, and I will try to answer as many as I can see as they pop up, but they're popping up pretty fast here. It does look like a shiny toy. I totally agree. And they're fun to play with because they are quick and easy, which is really nice. Are there other end caps for memory wire? Yes, there are. So I have a couple that I pulled for the show here, and I'm going to show you how to use them. So there are these little round ones, and they have a little hole in them. So they're kind of like a half drilled bead, essentially. So they've got a hole on one side, but it doesn't go all the way through. And then what you can do is you can glue it onto the ends. I'm going to show you how to do that. You can also use finial beads. So check glass finial beads come in a ton of colors, and they basically look identical to these little stoppers. And so you can use them to finish your ends. The most common way that I see people finish ends is with a little loop, and I'll show you how to make that little loop. So that's a really quick and easy way. How do you do the wire wrapping? Great question, Mary. I am going to show you. I'll show you in this show how to do the wire wrapping and then how to make a bracelet as well with just the beads. So we will talk about both of those. And it does look like a slinky. I agree. It totally looks like a slinky. Very, very fun. Okay, so that is what memory wire is, and it comes in ring sizes, bracelet sizes, and necklace sizes. You can also buy these multi-packs that give you a little bit of everything, or you can buy them separate. The ring sizes are great for wine charms. So if you're doing wine charms, they're really great for that. I've seen ornaments done with the necklace size, so kind of think outside the box. There's lots of things besides just traditional jewelry that you can do with memory wire. So that is fun. Okay, and then we've got the end caps. We'll talk about how to finish it. Okay, so we are going to do our giveaway right now, guys. So before we do our giveaway, I want to show you what it is. So I'm going to give away a beautiful tube of Prestige crystal bicones. Would you suggest, oh, sorry, I want to try to get to the questions so they don't pass over me. Would you suggest GS Hypo Cement or epoxy? Oh, that's Michelle saying that. Okay, great. So yes, to put on your finial, your end caps, GS Hypo Cement or epoxy for sure. It's so great to have Michelle. Okay, so these beads are so pretty. Hello, Denise from Alabama. Okay, so these are beautiful 4mm bicones, super, super sparkly. You get a whole tube of them, so you get a ton of them. And we're gonna give this away to one winner who is the first to post in the comments the correct answer. And you gotta be commenting here at beadaholique.com /live so that we can see your comment. So if you are on Facebook or YouTube, pop over really, really quickly so that we can see your comment. I'll give them a few minutes to pop over, a few seconds to pop over. But this is going to be what we're going to give away. And it will be the first person with the correct answer to this question. Dun, 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 dun. All right. So get ready to comment. And then Michelle or Eric is going to pull the winner's name. They'll try to catch who comments first, and then they'll post who the winner is. So they'll be monitoring the comments, and they will then say who commented first with the correct answer. Okay, so the question is, memory wire. For memory wire, can you cut memory wire with regular cutters? Yes or no? Can you cut memory wire with regular cutters? First correct answer wins. And I see a ton of answers. Okay, I'm gonna let Michelle and Eric pull the name and post the name because I can definitely not keep track. Okay, let them post it. Okay, Michelle. Oh my gosh, Michelle, that popped up too fast for me. She just posted the winner's name and I couldn't read it that quick. Okay, maybe she can post it again. All right, Stephanie. Okay, Eric posted it. Stephanie. So the answer is no. So memory wire is so strong, and that's why it retains its shape, which we love. But because of that, it will damage your regular cutters. It will create divots in them. And I don't have a pair here to show you, but I have tried it before with my regular cutters. And when you hold the tips closed, you actually see like a hole through the tips. So you do not cut it with regular cutters. What you do is you have special memory wire cutters, and you can see how different they look. So if you look at how thick this head is right here and that blade, and it's just a totally different mechanism. So you need special memory wire cutters to cut memory wire. And this is really important because we love our tools. We use them all the time making jewelry, and you do not want to try to cut it with your regular jewelry making cutters and then be sad that they're ruined. I have done that and it was not good. So congratulations, Stephanie. Michelle will get in contact with you to get your address to send you this pretty bicone blend. Okay. So what I want to show you first, let's go ahead and start a project so we can start actually designing. And I think there is a lot of interest in how to do the flat memory wire with the cup chain. So why don't we start with that, because that's different. So this is the flat memory wire. You'll cut, nope, that's not the flat. This is the flat. Okay, you can definitely tell the difference when you hold them up right here. So you can see how that has that thick, flat edge. Okay, so what you want to do is you're going to pre-cut your memory wire to whatever size you want. So this would work if you were doing round or flat. And don't forget that all of these items that you see here are in that shopping bag. So if you click on the little shopping bag icon, it will show you everything all at once, so you don't have to wait for a banner to pop up. You can also add it to your cart and purchase it. Things do tend to sell out quickly during lives. I do just have to say that. So if there's something that's available now and you really want it, it is best to get it while you can, for sure, especially with the current sale we're having. I kind of expect some of this to sell out. Okay, does the flat come in large and small? Great question, Amy. So I would ask, let's see if Michelle can answer that, because I don't know. Yes, and the base metal of this is steel. So it is like a plated steel. Can you use a 3-second glue from Lowe's for the attachments? You can definitely experiment with that. I haven't used that specifically, so I don't want to say for sure. I kind of feel like it might work. I know what glue you're talking about. I just haven't tried it with this specific use, so I don't really want to recommend it if it's not something I've like specifically tried. But I think in theory it probably should work. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it to the size I want. And I'm not going to do a whole bracelet because it would take too long. We've got a lot to cover. So I'm just going to cut it here. And you hear that snap. That was, that's a good cut. You can tell this is really strong. Okay. So what I'm going to do, does the flat also come in silver? Yes, the flat comes in silver. Can it be... Okay, be posted. Okay, Michelle and Eric can definitely try to find that for you. It comes in silver and gold. Does it come in gold filled? No, I don't think it comes in gold filled. I don't think that the nature of memory wire would work with gold filled. I could be wrong. So where do you go to purchase beads? Oh, you come to us, Beadaholique. We have so many beads, thousands and thousands of beads. So many beads. I just pulled a few here to show like pretty color palettes. And then if I tilt my camera, I've also got some Christmassy stuff happening over here that's not really in frame. I think we'll do some Christmas, even though I picked kind of a springy palette too. But we'll have fun. But so many beads. Okay, so let's turn the edge here as a way of basically creating a stop. Now there are flat memory wire ends too, and they look almost identical to these little guys, but instead of just that little round hole in them, they have a little flat slit, which this would just slip into. Okay, so what I like to do is I like to use my chain nose pliers. Some people really like to use round nose pliers. You can, absolutely. If you've got round nose pliers at home, you could definitely use round nose. I feel like I have a better grip with chain nose, so I use chain nose to turn my ends. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab the tip. Okay. And now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna turn it. Now, another member of our community gave a great tip a while back that you turn it up and away from where the bracelet is going to hit your wrist. I used to always turn my loops inward, which now that I think about it is so silly because that would always kind of irritate the skin. So they said, turn your loops outward, and that's a great tip. So you just keep turning this wire until you have a loop. And what you want to try to do is make sure that there's not a gap. So you see how we've just got like a nice little loop right there now, and that's going to stop it from having your beads come off if you're doing beads, or in this case, it also gives you a stopper for your wire to anchor onto. Oh, and I just saw that we sold out of the flat memory wire. That was really fast, guys. I'm sorry. So we do have an out of stock notifier. It works really, really well. If you sign up for that on the product that goes out of stock, you'll get an email when it comes back in. And memory wire, we do get in pretty quickly. So that's just something to keep in mind if there's something you want that goes out of stock. We do have that out of stock notifier that works really well. Okay, so I'm going to be using 24 gauge wire, and I picked gold because I wanted a little contrast so we can see it a little bit better. And you can also use 26 gauge. So 24 and 26 are the gauges I like when I do wire wrapping onto memory wire. I get a little bit of a hand strain with anything heavier than that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut myself a manageable length because I'm just showing how to do this technique. But you're going to cut a length that is probably about, well, depending on how big your bracelet is, like 30 inches of wire, I would say. You can always add more later if you need to. But you're going to want more than what I'm starting with just for my demo here. Okay. Oh, I love it. Okay, it's so fun to read the comments. I'm trying to read them as I go, guys, so I'm sorry if I don't see them. Okay, so you're going to start up with the end right here where you've got that loop. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our wire and we're going to hold it against it. So you see how I've just got that held against the wire, and I'm going to wrap it around and through the inside. Now, a tip with memory wire is the more coils you have, like let's say you're going to doing like a 6-coil bracelet, it can kind of be a little challenging to get around all the coils. It is easier when you just have like 2 or 3 or 4. Just a little caveat right there. Okay, so then we're going to wrap it around, and we're just wrapping it. So we want to make probably at least like 5 wraps right here as a good anchor point. Okay, so you can see I'm kind of a little ways away from my end. I'm going to clean that up right now by just kind of scooting it together. Remember, wire is your friend. Make it do what you need it to do. I used to kind of think, oh, the wire's not working, and then I would get frustrated. But I'm like, no, it's wire. Kind of force it to do what you need it to do. So I'm just going to push it up against the end so it's resting against my loop right there. And then I'm not going to trim my tail to the end, so I'll go back and do that. So now what we want to do is we want to take our cup chain, and cup chain comes in gold, it comes in silver. Here we've got pretty pink crystals. You can get it with clear crystals. And I know Michelle and Eric, if there's a specific one, they can add it to the shopping bag. But this here is it. This is a pretty pink one on silver. So we are going to take this and we're going to lay it on top of our flat memory wire. So we're just going to lay it. And you see how there's like a little metal bridge between each little cup chain, like a little cup? That's where we're going to be doing our wrappings. Okay, so we're just going to do that. And we're just holding that first crystal. And now we're going to wrap. And so we're just going to go over and through. And now I like to do an extra wrap in that little gap, so I have a total of 2, but I think you'd even be fine with 1, but I'm just going to do 2 wraps in there. So the first one and then 1 more around. Okay, now we're going to stretch this out along the top of it, and we're going to go over to the next one. Okay, and then we're going to go around that little gap again. And just kind of keep in check that it's where I want it to be. Go on top of that one again. Okay, and now we're going to keep moving along. So you see how these are getting anchored? And then I'm going to move around. Now, if you have a hard time with wire, I would suggest going with 26 gauge to do this. It is easier. It feels more like thread-like, if you will. I mean, it's still wire, but it's softer and easier. So, and 26 gauge works for this technique as well. But you can see how we're getting that. And we're just basically walking along the outer edge of the flat memory wire. And you can kind of get the idea that we just keep going until you're done. And if you don't want to work with as much wire all at once, you need to add more. Say you run out of wire, you can just basically trim this off. Let's say you were running out. Does it matter that the wire is a different color than the memory wire? No, it's personal preference. I did a different color for contrast for the show here, so you guys could hopefully see it better. Usually I do the same color, like in this sample here that's done. It was silver on silver on silver with clear crystals. So it's kind of a personal preference. It gives a little different look if you do the multi-color, the mixed colors. So totally up to you. Can that chain also be used on the round memory wire? Nope, you can use it on the round for sure. I think the flat's a little easier, but you can use it on the round as well. I've done cup chain. It's just a little bit more slippery when you're doing it because you don't have as much of a surface for it to sit on, if that makes sense. Okay, so let's say you were running out of wire and you were only half done with your bracelet, you would just take your wire, trim your tail. I always like to tuck my tails by just pressing them in. And then you would just take your new bit of wire. Let's say this was a nice new long bit of wire. And then what you would do is you would just go over that same thread bridge that was your last one with the wire. You'll just have a little bit thicker wire right here, but it shouldn't be too noticeable. You could actually, now that I think about it, you could just start the fresh wire on the next cup because it's already anchored. Yeah, I would probably do that. I would just start your fresh wire on your next cup, on that next thread bridge, and then just go over it. And you go over it again a couple more times than what you would normally do, just because this is a starting point again. So then you would just continue along your way. And then when you're all done, you're going to go back to where you started and you're going to trim your wire end. And for trimming, you're just using your normal cutters. You don't need to use the memory wire cutters because at this point we're just using a craft wire. And then you just tuck your end. And that's how you wire wrap cup chain onto memory wire. Oh, hi, Bonnie. We are doing all about memory wire. So if anyone's just joining us, all of these shows are saved. They can be found over at beadaholique.com. All of them are archived, so you can always catch up if you missed something. And then these shows are also shoppable. So if you see something you like, we sell everything that's in the show. It's all in that shopping bag. You can add it right to your shopping cart from there. So just a quick note about that. Okay, so I want to show you then again what the finished would look like if we had taken the time to do the entire surround, and then we can do these pretty little crystal dangles from it, and there you go. So that's what it looks like. So that would be a rhinestone cup chain memory wire bracelet. Okay, so now let's look at a more like, if you will, traditional memory wire bracelet. So this is kind of when you say memory wire, at least this is what I think of. You can do it to any theme. You can do gemstones, wood beads. You can do Valentine's Day, Christmas. You can do bridal party stuff. I mean, the possibilities are really endless. So you can do it to any theme you want, and you can personalize it with charms, which is super fun. So this one I did with the Mr. Kitty grab bag bead. So this was like a bead soup one. So originally I was going to do this because I thought that these colors were really pretty and I liked them. These are all in the shopping cart if you like them and you want a kind of a pretty color palette. And I thought they went really well with that tube of beads that we were giving away. Right here, and then I was going to pop a little bit of green with them. So originally I was going to do that. So all of those beads are there in that shopping bag. And so I kind of switched gears at the last minute because I came across these charms and I felt like I had to use one of them because I love putting charms on memory wire. And it is the holiday season right now. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little gold memory wire bracelet with a charm on it. And I don't think I pulled gold jump rings, which I should have, but maybe Michelle and Eric can add those to the bag, and I'm just going to use a silver one because I have one here. Okay, so I thought that these were really fun. So let's go ahead and start. So you see that these are different lengths, and that's because I've used some of these before and I never toss my scraps. So you'll use what you want from your memory wire, and then you'll just keep it for the next project. Santa Kitty. Okay, Santa Kitty it is. We'll do a little Santa Kitty. And I'm actually kind of thinking maybe I'll put him in the middle of the memory wire. Usually I put them charms at the end, but I'm thinking with a jump ring, I can just put him in the middle, which would be really fun. Okay, so again, I'm going to cut the length I want. I'm going to do it a little bit shorter for time constraints. So, but you can make this a 2-wrap, 3-wrap, 4-wrap, whatever you want. So always cut it a little bit longer than what you anticipate you need. And then you can always trim it down later. So I'm going to cut it to about here. And you could hear that snap again. Oh, good. Bonnie got her wire looping pliers and you love them. Good. I can't be without them. If anyone's curious, these are the wire looping pliers and they are my all-time favorite tool ever. Okay, so what I have here, I have these really beautiful green prestige pearls. I'm pretty sure they're called Eden green, but I think they make a really great Christmas green. And then I have some light cyan bicones, and then just some clear crystal check glass beads. So I'm going to use these as my very traditional holiday palette for my Christmas holiday palette here. So I'm just going to cut those, and it gives me lots of beads to play with. And then what I'm going to do is, for this one, I will show you guys how to finish the memory wire ends with the little stoppers, but they won't dry in time for me to work on this project. So I'm just going to do my little turning of the end with a loop. So let's go ahead and take this, and we're just going to turn it up again and away. So here you go. Okay, so we got a nice little loop right there. So what that loop does is it works as your stopper. I love the comments. Yeah, I really like to have things uniform too. Tracy and Leanne, that's kind of my thing. It was actually hard not to try to count the distance between the bigger kind of different beads on here. Even though it was random, I still was like, oh, there was a bigger bead 1.5 inches ago. I definitely have a hard time with random. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, this is a stopper, so I can just start beading. To bead memory wire, this is the round, and you can do this for rings, bracelets, or necklaces. You're just going to add a bead. So you just put the bead on it and you help it slide down, and then once it goes all the way down, am I going the right direction? Yep. So when it goes all the way down, what it does is it stops. So it stops right there on your little loop. So that is basically your bead stopper. And so now you can just, okay, so are we going to do random or are we going to do pattern? That is the question. Let's do a pattern. So let's do a red bicone followed by a crystal followed by a green bead. Okay. And then let's do another crystal bead followed by another bicone. And if you don't like your pattern, you just slip the beads off and restart. So we'll kind of see what this looks like. And then if we're happy with it, we will keep going. If we're not happy with it, we'll restart. But you don't lose any memory wire. You don't lose any anything. You can just kind of play and then slip it off if you want to. Can the loop be turned to where it's flat? Okay. Can the loop be turned to where it's flat on the memory wire? Oh, you could try to, do you mean like flatten the loop? Yeah, I think you probably could. It's very, very stiff. You'd have to use some hand strength, but you probably could where it is more flat on the memory wire. Totally gifts. Yes. These would make wonderful gifts. What is the largest diameter bead you could use? It's personal preference. I have seen some pretty large scale beads used on this. These are 6 millimeter right here, these little crystal ones. I think this is an 8mm that I have, so you can see what that would look like. So you could do that. I've even seen 10mm. So I feel like it's really personal preference. Now, remember though, if you do have all 10mm beads or 12mm beads, they're going to stick out more even on the interior. So you might lose some of the space where it's supposed to fit on your wrist. So here we go. So that's the little pattern we got. It's a little crystally for me, but it's still Christmas. So we'll just go with it. But what I want to try, because I actually haven't done this before, is I want to try to put a charm kind of in the middle here of the bracelet once we get to the middle point. So I'm going to prep it ahead of time. So we have a jump ring, and I'm just going to open it. And we'll do Santa Kitty. So a little Santa Kitty. And we're just going to put him on the jump ring and then close it back up. So he's going to be ready to go. Okay, so let's add some more beads. So where did I leave off? So now I need another crystal. Oh my gosh, my eyesight. Trying to find the hole in this little tiny crystal. And then we're going to go ahead, and then I think my pattern was, I need another clear, and then a green, and another clear, and then a red. Yeah, I think these would make wonderful gifts because they are, like I said, a lot of the times they're kind of one size fits all because they stretch out and they mold around the wrist. If you know someone who's particularly got a smaller or larger wrist, you could buy a small size or a large size. But the medium size is what I typically use and I find works for most people. Okay. Tracy, I love your comment. Okay. And then here you go. So we're just going to now scoot these down. What's the gauge of the wire? That is a great question. The gauge of this wire that I used was 24 gauge. The gauge of the memory wire, I would have to check the product listing on that one. If you're doing wire wrapping, 24 or 26 gauge is perfect. I want to say, oh my gosh, this feels like maybe a 22, but we'd have to check. But I'm just trying to feel it in comparison. Feels thicker than the 24. Yeah, so I'm thinking it's like 1 gauge up. But I can't guarantee that until we check the product listing. So hopefully Michelle and Eric can do that, but great question. And that's the beauty of these lives. So if you are watching live, thank you for being here. And the questions are great because they help everybody. Because it's one of those things that's like, if one person's wondering it, probably other people are too. Okay, so let's scoot these all down to see what we got. Okay. And then what I want to do is I'm just going to kind of do a couple more, and then I'm going to add my kitty and see how he looks. Oh my gosh, and this lighting, these little red ones are just driving my eyes crazy. There we go, there's a hole. Okay. All right, so let's see. We're just gonna add a kitty in here. So let's see how he would look. So we have that jump ring on him and he is ready to go, and it's a closed jump ring now. You know what? I just realized it's probably that jump ring might slip over that bicone. So I don't want to do it between the bicone. I think I want to add a bigger bead. Now do my kitty, then a green bead. Let's see how that looks. Okay. So there, as we're building this out, we've got a little kitty on there. I like it. Okay, so I like that. So I'm going to make it so that's kind of the center point of that bracelet right there. So I'm going to do a little bit more around to here about, so it overlaps a little bit, and then I'll show you how to finish the ends as well. Okay, so I'm going to now go look at what my pattern was. Oh, hello, Helen. Oh, and Mary, okay, good call. Yeah, I think, you know what, thankfully we're early before Christmas, so it's definitely good timing. Okay, and then I keep forgetting my pattern. And I like it, perfect. Okay, I put on the wrong bead, probably because I'm avoiding wanting to put on these red ones. There we go. Whew. Okay, so you just keep scooting your beads down as you go so you can check your pattern. And then we're gonna keep going. Hello, Diane. Thank you to everyone who is just joining us. We are making memory wire projects today. And so this is really all about memory wire. So if you are joining us a little bit into the show, this show is saved and archived. You could go back. We did talk about how to cut memory wire, how to turn the ends, a little bit more specifics. But we also did wire wrapping onto flat memory wire. So you can always catch the replay. And then everything you see here is in the shopping bag, and you can add it directly to your shopping cart as well. So definitely fun to think about Christmas gifts and Christmas projects. And actually, now that I'm looking at this even looks like a Christmas ornament. You could finish this off and just hang it on your tree as a cute Christmas ornament. I know this would slip right onto a branch too. So that could be really fun too. So lots and lots of things you can do with memory wire. And we're almost done with this bracelet. So we're going to keep going because I do want to have a finished project here. And we're going to keep going. We put that little kitty charm on there. And you can absolutely customize the beads. So if you have someone who has a birthstone that's meaningful to them, you can do that. You can customize the charm. Maybe someone loves animals. You can get like a little cat charm or a little dog charm. Just the possibilities are pretty endless with memory wire. It comes in all different sizes and different colors, so you could do necklaces and rings and bracelets, so lots of options. Okay, so we've hit the overlapping point. So what we have here is we have our little kitty charm on there, and we're starting to overlap. I like to overlap at least a little bit so that when it stretches to go on your wrist, it kind of has a little bit of extra security when it overlaps. So I'm going to bead a little bit more, and then I will show you how to finish this end. And we are still going to go through how to add those finial, those like little end caps as another way of finishing memory wire. So we will also cover that in this show. And we are live. Okay, so we're just going to keep going. Okay, so I've got a good overlap. So I started here with a little bicone. I think I want to end with a little red bicone too. So I'll just slip that on. Okay, and so I do have a little bit of extra memory wire. So I'm just going to now make sure that there's no gaps. So I just kind of scoot my beads on down. Sure, we can make a memory wire ring. Actually, what I was thinking of making, Michelle, instead of a memory wire ring, I was actually thinking of making a wine charm, which is the same basic concept as a ring. So it'll be the same technique as a ring, but I thought wine charms, because a lot of people are having holiday parties, so it's kind of nice to be able to keep track of your wine glasses. Is this, okay, if the small is too big. Okay, can it be tightened? Ooh, good question, Tracy. Okay, so Tracy was asking if it's not the right size, can it be tightened? Not really, because this wire is so strong, you can't really alter the shape of it. It kind of is what it is. It's flexible and it molds to you, but you can't like try to, like normal wire, you would be able to be like, okay, I'm going to squeeze this in. I'm going to try to make it so it's a little bit snugger. Memory wire, it doesn't. It holds its shape, which is nice. That's a property of it, but that is one challenge where you can't really adjust the size. Okay, so I'm going to turn my end. So what you want to do is you're going to take your cutters again, your memory wire cutters. And then you're going to look at the end and you want to cut kind of between 1/4 and 1/2 of an inch. So we're gonna just go right in here, and you're holding your beads in place. So you see that gap we have right there? And that might be a little big. I tend to err on the side of caution because I don't want it to be too small. Okay, so we're gonna snap it again. Okay, and don't toss that because I'll tell you what you can do with it in just a minute. We don't toss any scraps. Okay, so we go back and we take our chain nose pliers or our round nose, and same thing. We're just gonna turn that end. Just keep turning it. Okay, and that is your stopper. So there you've got a finished bracelet with the little kitty cat charm. Now we could have put a Christmas tree on there, or we could have put a snowflake or whatever we wanted to do. You could personalize it too with an initial. So if you are making gifts, you could do an initial charm as well. Now, what you can also do is you can go at the end, you can take a head pin and you can be like, well, I want even more sparkle. Oh, thank you for the hearts, guys. It is so good to see. Okay, so I'm gonna be like, well, I want a little more Christmas color and a little more sparkle. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna take a little head pin, make myself a little dangle, grab my wire looping pliers, and squeeze. Rotate up, crisscross. And I'm just gonna trim that. Okay, and then you'll just go ahead and you will open up that little loop you just made. And just slip it on to your end. So you have like a nice little decorative dangle on this side. So you can see how that would look. So you just then have a pretty little dangle. So we'll go back to this example here, which was the Mr. Kitty grab bag one I did. And you see I put a couple dangles here, so you can do a few, you can do a lot, you can just leave one side blank. So lots of different things you can do with it. But here is our cute little kitty Christmas bracelet or ornament. I don't know, I think he might go on my tree. I think my kids would love it. So, oh, there's wire looping tools. Yes, there definitely are. So Anita, let me show you these guys again because they're my favorite. So these are, basically they take the place of the round nose plier. So they got one round nose and then they got a concave. And then what you do is you just, I'll show you again, you just put that wire in there, squeeze. So it kind of does like half the work for you, if you can see that. And you twist and you twist. And now you can either leave it in the pliers and do the wrapping, or you can go in with your chain nose, hold it, and then make simple loops or wrapped wire loops, whatever you like. So easy. Yeah. And then you just tighten up your wraps. There we go. So we have a little wrapped wire loop with our wire looping pliers. So, oh, that's not them. Yeah, so these are them. And good advice from Amy, saying it took her a couple tries, but she loves them now. So yeah, just give yourself a little bit of grace as you're learning a new tool. It makes it so much easier, especially if you're doing a lot of wire wrapping, like gemstone wire wrapping, or, oh my gosh, just any type of wire wrapping. It just makes it so easy. And you can adjust the size of your loop by doing towards the tip will be a smaller, tighter loop. And then on the back, you can do bigger loops. So you can do all different size loops with the same pair of pliers. Yeah, good. Leanne is saying too, takes a little bit of patience. Yeah. So it's kind of like you get the hang of it, and then it's so quick and easy. And then, at least for me, I never want to go back to round nose. I avoid them now because I just find there's extra steps involved, and it just feels like my loops are not as nice. So these, for me, make nicer loops. Can you wire wrap on the round memory wire? Yes, you can. You can do the same exact technique. It's a little bit slipperier, if that makes sense. So if we're looking at the flat, it has this nice surface to sit on. And then, you know, so here would be, you've got this flat side to flat side, but you could do it here. You could do it. And don't forget, you can also, where's my wire? Okay, don't forget, you can wire wrap regular beads onto memory wire too. It doesn't have to be cup chain. So let's like use this as a sample right here. So we'll just turn our end. So we have a stopping point. It's not very here. Ah! So I made that loop a little tight. So it's got a little gap, but it'll be okay. Okay, so if you are wanting to just do beads, you would do the same exact start. So I'm gonna make some wraps. Okay, again, you wanna start with like a good 5 wraps or so, just so you've got a good anchor, and then kind of trim it up towards the end before you go further. Okay, and then you want your wire up and away from the interior of your bracelet. And this has a little kink on it. I'm just gonna cut that off. Okay, and then you'll just pick up a bead. It can be a round bead, it can be a bicone bead, it can be whatever bead you want. Okay, it could be a seed bead. That would be pretty too. Okay, so you're just gonna pull it down so it sits on the outer top of the wire. And then you just hold it and you wrap inside, wrap once around again. You can do twice around, whatever you like. And then get your wire so it's pointing up and out again. And with the bicones, you do kind of get this little diagonal effect with it, which I think is kind of neat. But you know, the round bead, it won't be quite as dramatic like that, but it's the same concept. And then you just add another bead, it sits on top. And this is the round wire I'm using. So this is not the flat. And then again, and a wrap. Okay, facing away. And you just keep adding beads. So you could do this for an entire bracelet, whatever you like. I'll do one more. But yeah, so seed beads would work great. Size 8 would be a really nice size. And so many colors, hundreds and hundreds of colors for that. So lots and lots of choices. Okay. Okay, so there you go. So that would be how you would wire wrap beads onto round memory wire. Oh, it's okay. So I'm reading Francis's comments. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to read comments as I go. I really want to make some. I will have to find the right size. Okay, so we only have large in stock. So it sounds like some stuff is really selling out quickly. I think holidays and live shows tend to do that. So we do have the out of stock notifier available. So if there's something you like, you can definitely sign up for that. And then we'll be getting it back in stock soon, and you'll be notified so you can get it. So that is one option, but I do know, I'm sorry, I know with the lives and the holidays and the sale, things are selling out quickly. If you do have stuff in your cart, it would be good to check out if there's stuff you want, just so you can secure it before it does sell out. Okay, so I'm gonna open up the multi-pack of memory wire. So if you're just starting with memory wire, this is, can you show what the seed bead would look like? Yeah, I can do that, Pam. Maybe I will, so the wire wrap seed bead. Yeah, I'll do that. Let me finish opening this and then I will show you a seed bead. Because seed beads are fun and we all have a ton of them. Okay, so if you wanted to do a seed bead, I have these right here. They're 8/0s. So just put some down. And then you would do the same exact technique. And you would just slip your seed bead on, let it sit down at the bottom. You see how much smaller it is? And then you would do the same technique. So you kind of hold it, wrap it twice, go back up to the top, add another seed bead. Oh, Melanie, you're very welcome. We love doing these classes. And guys, if you have any class suggestions, let me know. I know next week I'm doing Mr. Kitty stretch bracelets because it was so much fun to do my Mr. Kitty memory wire. So I was like, oh, I should do a class on stretch bracelets. So I'll do that next week. But if you have any other suggestions, please let us know. You can write them in the comments here. We'll see them because we are doing these every single week. Okay, so there you go. You're starting to see what the seed beads look like on the memory wire. Now, Michelle and Eric can try to search our website if the memory wire that I'm showing in the class here is sold out. I know we have a couple brands of memory wire, so maybe Michelle and Eric can take a quick look at the website and add some to the shopping cart if there are any more on the website that are not sold out. So kind of maybe they can help with that if we're selling out kind of quickly of the stuff that's here. Okay, so there we go. So that's little seed beads and they're size 8/0, so pretty cute. Oh, and Amy D ordered 2 more Mr. Kitties today. They're so fun. I love them. I have to keep my kids from trying to steal all the beads out of them because I want to keep using them for projects, but they keep trying to like, ooh, they love it. Okay, so there are seed beads, crystal bicones. Jane, would E6000 work on the end cap? Yes, I have done E6000. Just let it fully dry overnight. That is something to keep in mind. Okay, let's do a quick wine charm, which would be the same as the ring memory wire. So if you are doing a ring, I would absolutely suggest the little ball ends so that you don't have these turned loops against your skin that tight in your fingers. I think that would be pretty uncomfortable. So I can't show you that here because it won't dry in time for me to work with it. So I'm going to do a wine charm instead, but it would be the same basic technique. And then I'll show you at the end how to do those little end caps. So here we go. So the code for 25% off is Jolly25. And that is good if you are watching this live. It is December 5th. 2024, so we're getting ready for Christmas, but that is when that code is valid. Okay, so same thing. It's holding its shape. Okay, so I'm going to cut it. That snap. Okay, so I've got my little coils. And what I'm going to do is, this is going to be a wine charm, so I am going to turn my end. What's the smallest seed bead you can use on memory wire? Great question. I know 11s work, 11 O's. I don't know if a 15 will work. I haven't tested that. I know an 11 will though. Okay, so we turned that little end. Oh, so Carrie, okay, so Michelle can definitely help you, and you can reach out because we'll make sure we take care of that. Okay. Oh, and Erica says he's adding memory wire. Check the shopping bag. Okay, great. Okay, great. Yay, we found some more in stock on the website. Wonderful. Okay, so what I've got here is I've got this coil. I'm separating it out. You can buy it right here. So Nydia, we sell all the items you see in this show is available for sale at Beadaholique. So if you click on the little shopping bag icon, you'll see everything in the show. But the website has thousands and thousands more items. So many items. Okay, so I'm just going to do a pretty little crystal. Okay, so here we go. So we're going to put this. And I'm just going to do some seed beads. And this is a tighter coil. Because it's smaller, it is tighter. Okay. And then you can just keep adding. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so definitely, guys, I'm seeing some comments about not getting the discount or some things that were missed. They placed an order, but some things were missed. Michelle is definitely able to help. So I'm sure she is on it. I'm sure she's trying to help someone right now, and then she'll comment and help. Discount? Yeah, so everyone, definitely she can help for sure, guys. Are there different sizes of memory wire? Yes. So Lemon, there are different sizes of memory wire. Right now I am using the ring. There's Bracelet, but Bracelet comes in small, medium, and large. And then there's Necklace as well. So there's all different sizes for whatever application you want. Okay, so I'm going to, because I know we're kind of running late on time, and I want to definitely show you how to use the end caps. But you kind of get the idea. Same idea as the bracelet. You would just keep beading. You can add a charm if you want, if these are wine charms, and you would finish it off in the same way. So you would do that same thing to make cute little wine charms or make a ring. So here we go. Now I want to show you how to do the ends. Now I will admit, I usually do the loops because I sometimes fumble with the ends. So we will see how I do. Okay. So you need to, so you got GS Hypo Cement. You can use epoxy. I've used E6000 too. Oh, thank you, Santa Barbara girl. And thank you, guys, everyone. This is really fun to do. I appreciate you guys being with me. I know that this has been a little bit of a longer class and we're still going, but I just wanted to really cover everything memory wire so that we could really kind of learn about it and have fun with it. Okay, so what you are going to be doing is you are going to have your end, again, pre-cut your memory wire to whatever size you want. We'll just pretend that this was going to be the size that I wanted. Oh, and Michelle is helping people. Okay, so she is just going to keep helping people. Yeah, I struggle with the end caps too. I really do too. So actually, I forgot I was going to, you know what, guys? Let me grab something from my other cupboard because there is a little technique I like to do that does make it a little easier. So I'm going to try to do it real quick. I'll be back in like 5 seconds. Okay. All right, I'm back. Okay, so I'm going to try this technique because I have done it before for these little end caps, and we're going to try it. There's a couple different ways you can do them. Okay. Oh, we're so happy to be back at doing lives too. Okay, so I have a little bit of clay. So what I have done before to make life easier with these end caps is I'll take my clay and I'll put it on my work surface, and usually my work surface is covered, okay, because I'm going to be using glue. And then I can take my little end cap and I can put it upright in my little bit of clay. So this is a polymer clay, but you could use Play-Doh. You could use that sticky white tack stuff that you use for walls. So lots of different things, but you can kind of see now I've got my little end cap sitting upright, which will help. Okay. Okay, and then you did ask a question. Oh, I'm sorry, Lennon. I didn't see it in time before it scrolled past my screen. If you want to ask it again, I can try to answer it. Or if it's maybe a Michelle or Eric question, I know they can answer it too. Okay, so then you've got this. And then you've got your end. And then you got your GS Hypo Cement. Now, GS Hypo Cement is nice because it has a really, really fine tip. So because I'm going to actually wipe off the glue a little bit because it just kind of comes out. So because our finial is upright in that clay, I can just put the glue right there on the hole. Okay. I'm just trying to put the glue cap. Okay, I'm going to worry about the glue cap later because it's going to take too long. Okay. And then just take hopefully this works because this is a little bit tricky. Take your end and you're going to, hopefully you can see this, I'm just going to plop it down into my finial and pull it out of the clay. So now it's got glue and it's on there, and now you just let it dry. And we do sell the glue. It's called GS Hypo Cement. And for this instance, it is nice because it's got that fine applicator tip. So I do, and then there's a little pink clay on there that'll just wipe off. So that's a really easier for me way of doing it. And then you just let this fully dry before you do your beads. And then you would just repeat on the other end. So hopefully that tip helps, because I know it can be a struggle. I've struggled with these little end caps too. But I'm just gonna set that aside, upright to dry. Play-Doh works really well. I often go raid my kids' Play-Doh section. I'm just gonna kind of wipe this tip off. I'm gonna put this up closer to my eyes to get that tip on. There's a little needle that goes into it there. Okay, whew, got it. How long does it take to dry? You know what? I haven't checked the instructions lately. I always let it dry at least like an hour. And then E6000 I let dry overnight. I'm kind of extra cautious with my drying, but that's just me. Okay, so the memory wire does not go by gauges. So what size should I buy memory wire to make bracelets? And that can go through seed beads. Okay, so the size of the memory wire is talking about the diameter, not the gauge. So the bracelet, if you wear smaller bracelets, you can get a small size. Medium is kind of the middle ground. Yes, absolutely, Marianne. The end caps come in silver too. They should be in that shopping bag, and they come for round and flat, which is cool. So if you wear a larger size bracelet, get the large size. Now for seed beads, I can go grab a tube of 11/0s just to verify. These are 8s. I should have a tube of 11s pretty handy here. So you can see that we've got quite a bit of wiggle room with the size 8. So that's going to be more than fine. I can look super quick for an 11. Let me do that real quick. Well, it's bright yellow, but it's an 11. So this is a Delica. So, and I know the Delica whole size is definitely not any bigger than the Toho. So let's verify that. So this is an 11/0 Delica, and it goes right on there as well. So you can definitely do seed beads and a variety of sizes of seed beads with memory wire. Did you already demonstrate using cup chain and memory wire? I did. So what we did for that, and it is on the replay, all of this is saved and archived. So this is what it looks like. We did a sample piece right here on flat memory wire. And so you can see here. So you can definitely see that in the replay. You use 24 or 26 gauge wire, like artistic wire, to wrap it on. You can also do it on round. So that's pretty, if you have round and you don't want to invest in the flat, it works with round as well. You just have to hold it a little bit more to stabilize it as you do it. And then you can also, if I find my sample, we were also, you could wire wrap regular beads. I've got bicone, seed beads, all sorts of things. Oh, thank you, Lennon. So lots and lots of content on here. We talked about how to cut memory wire, what memory wire is, cup chain, wire wrapping beads, making a bracelet, all of that. So, okay. Oh, good, Leanne. Okay. Oh, it's your 4th live. Well, thank you for joining us. I'm glad you like them. And guys, really, I need more ideas. I've got next week's plan for the Mr. Kitty stretch bracelet, but more ideas, you guys. Whatever you want to see, we can do a class on. It could be a technique or a project. All right, guys, I think I'm going to flip up my camera so that we can say goodbye for this week. Don't forget to close out your shopping cart. If you have something in your shopping cart, I do know some things have sold out, so sign up for the out of stock notifier. But if you have something in your shopping cart, close it out now so that you can complete your order and you get your items. But here's our little kitty. I love the little kitty. I think he's so cute. And I'm going to go hang him on my tree. I think he's becoming my ornament instead of a bracelet. How do you store your jewelry supplies, beads, wires to keep things organized? I am not the best at that. I tend to have big like plastic bins and I separate them by type. So I have a bin for wire, I have a bin for check glass beads, I have a bin for seed beads, and then I just kind of dig through them. But I know what category is in each bin. So that's what I do. But I know some people have like nice bead towers and walls of beads. I keep them in storage tubs and then I dig. Okay. Yeah, lots and lots of containers is what Michelle says too. Okay, I'm gonna flip the camera up. Okay. All right, that was really fun. Okay, let me get this down a little bit. Thank you guys for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. That was a super fun class. Again, if you missed anything, go back and watch the replay. You'll be able to get all the content right there. We save all of these videos. You could go back and watch an older class as well. And then we're here every single Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific, so you can always join another class then as well. Now, if you have things in your shopping cart, please do remember to close out. You'll also be able to then make sure you get the items you want, so do that. And then I love it. So Jane, Kathy, Carrie, Sue, thank you guys. I'm glad you like the ideas. Miss J, thank you. Leanne, Ramona, I'm so glad we're doing these lives again. It was on our wish list for so long to bring these lives back to Beadaholique, and we're excited that we get to do them, and we get to do them every single week. So thank you. Have a great rest of the week, a wonderful weekend, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.